and welcome to HT's weekly talk show, The Interview. He's a lawyer who writes poetry. He's a politician who rebels and demands correctives. Not difficult to guess who I'm talking about. Yes, he is none other than Kapil Sibal, congressman and the go-to person when it comes to complex issues of law. Mr. Sibal, thank you for joining us and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let me start with a direct question. Has the Congress lost it? It is now asking for probe into tweets by Lata, Mangeshkar and Sachin Tendulkar.
You know, quite frankly, I don't want to go into those issues because I think there are larger issues that are facing this country, and I don't want to comment upon somebody's criticism of some tweets. And, you see the same thing happening within the BJP. And the question can be asked of the BJP, have you lost it? So that won't take us anywhere. Let's move away from tweets to substantive issues. And I think let's address those issues. That's the main thing.
Okay, so a substantive issue as far as the party is concerned. Do you think Rahul Gandhi fits the bill as Congress president? And I know you're going to say this is not person specific and all, but looking at his past performance, do you think he fits the bill as a Congress president?
Look, I think, Kumkum, it's unfair for you to even ask this question because I am a staunch congressman. I am a committed congressman. I will never comment upon A, B, and C. There are resolutions passed in various states now that he should take over as president. That reflects the feelings of people in those states where these resolutions have been passed. Every party needs to rejuvenate, and that is precisely why we took up the matter with the party and said that, we want to rejuvenate the Congress. I think it's unfair for you to ask me questions on A, B, or C. These are very sensitive issues, and I would not like to comment on them.
Well, I think to my next question also, that will be your answer, but I will still attempt it. One criticism, and this is on a serious point, it's not about person specific, but, one criticism about Mr. Rahul Gandhi is that he is, one, not available. And I think it's that lack of access which led senior leaders like you and some of the others to write a letter. And the other, even when he's available, he's not serious on issues. Hemanta Sarma said, when I was discussing Assam with him, he was playing with his dog. How would you react to this at a macro level?
I think, Kumkum, we should move away from all these things. I think that when interviews become one person specific and they talk about personal events that have happened of which I have absolutely no knowledge, it would be unfair of me to start commenting on those events.
The way things have unfolded, do you think your decision to join the Congress was a mistake in hindsight?
Certainly not. Absolutely not. I've been a member of this party now for, over 30 years. And I have
yes,
no
but
regrets.
It's not what it was.
It's not a question of not everyone. Is Modi's party the same as Vajpayee's party? Things change. Was the agenda of the Vajpayee government till 2004 the same as the agenda of this government? I personally think कि जो मोदी जी कहते थे वो ठीक है कि हम हिंदुस्तान को बदल देंगे. उन्होंने बदल दिया. किस रास्ते पे ले जा रहे हैं, that's another issue.
But the Congress, at least in the past 2 years, doesn't see, and even after the letter, which was last year, doesn't seem to show any signs of changing.
No change happens in a day. And if it happens in a day, in fact, it should be a matter of concern. Everything is incremental in life. When you say that, to the question, I can only say to you, things will change. They have to change. They must change. They are destined to change.
Are there, since the letter you wrote, all of you wrote in August last year, are there any signs of the change beginning to happen?
Again, I said we had a meeting with Mrs. Gandhi and others. There were conversations with her. And I do not think that you should expect from me an answer to the kind of dialogue that happened and perhaps may happen in the future.
In 1999, Jitendra Prasad had thrown his hat in the ring and said, I'm going to contest. And you and some of the others apparently had said, if there's nobody to contest, we will or I will. Are you still in the fray? And would you consider
Again,
contesting?
you're asking something that's not in the offing at the moment, right? I don't know
Presidential.
what's going to happen as and when the elections are announced, as and when nominations are called for. Whoever wants to contest will contest. I mean, how can I answer that question to you? I mean, and
Would you
this
like
should
to
be.
contest? Would you
Why
like to
would I not?
contest?
Why would I like to contest or not like to contest? It's not something that I've thought about.
Isn't it time that you gave it a thought?
As and when the situation arises, we'll all think about it.
So you're not ruling out the fact that you may be a
Neither am I
candidate for the.
ruling. I am neither am I ruling out nor ruling in. I said it as and when the situation arises, we'll think about it. So I don't want you to make headline news on this program, right?
Do you feel that after the letter was written, you and some of the others are kind of insider outsider in the party?
But I thought
And
this program was not related only to the Congress party. You're not
first,
going to get
first,
any answers from me on any of these issues. I can tell you that. And I can give
I
you.
can,
I can give. So you're not going to
I can
get
give.
them. So you can keep trying, but you're not going to get them.
Okay. Within the Congress, of course, who's the president is important. But nationally, what is important is that there should be a prime ministerial candidate. And the Congress doesn't seem to have anyone who can take on Modi. Now, this
That
is
must be
this.
that may be your point of view.
I'm asking you yours.
Why should I tell you my point of view? I think
Well,
there are
that we
many.
are getting nowhere.
That's right. That's why I told you will not get nowhere if you start asking these questions.
No, but don't you think it's important that apart from the Congress president or internal matters of the party, it's also important that a prime ministerial face should be projected from the
Don't worry
Congress, which is
about
the
it. As and when the situation arises, there will be.
one criticism about the Congress is that it is not clear on many issues. Now, the Rajasthan Youth Wing, for example, has started collecting money for the Ram Temple. Some of the tweets on the Chinese aggression were without discussion and consultation in the party. Where do you think the Congress is going? And
Again, you are associating individual acts in a given state to the entire Congress party, right? And quite frankly, is the BJP clear in its vision? I'm not too sure of that either, because it's the army of people in trolls say one thing, and the BJP denies it, right? So everybody, a huge party with millions of people as its supporters, you will have individuals doing A, B, or C, and you are attributing it all to the Congress party. I don't think that should be done.
okay, let's talk about something where I hope I'll get some answers, which is the farmers' agitation.
Yes.
Ramesh Tikait says that the agitation will go on till October, which means that whatever the government may do, the farmers have made up their mind not to relent. Second, how far can the government go? They've practically diluted the law. They've said we'll put it on hold for 18 months. So why don't the farmers or why don't the political parties then impress on the farmers to at least start talking?
First of all, I think that we must understand what this is all about. What is the farmer asking? He's asking for a minimum support price.
Which the
What is the
government has said will remain.
One, no,
Which
one
the
second.
government has said. I'm sorry.
Allow me to answer. What does minimum support price mean? It cannot be if the government says the FCI, the minimum support price will remain. What does that mean? It means that it will be announced that this will be the minimum support price. But whether you procure the grain, whether it's rye or it's wheat, the rabi or the kharif crop, at that price is no obligation of anybody. There is no law to that effect. Right? If FCI tomorrow does not wish to procure, What will the farmer do? Can he do anything? He can't do a thing.
But Mr.
Let,
Sibal, even now, till now, it has never been part of the law. It was never, MSP has always been on the government saying and announcing it. It
but
is
in the
not.
mid,
It's not part of the law so far.
till now, the private trader would not do that. Was not allowed to go. Corporatization of the farming community has had disastrous consequences, and the state has had to subsidize people. If corporatization takes place and they lose their land, where will they go? What job do they get? And that's why these farmers are sitting on the borders and saying, look, what are you going to do with us? I don't want a Walmart like in America to come here. I don't want these guys to come. And I don't want them to negotiate with me. Now, that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be reform in the agricultural sector. There should be.
I was just going to come to that.
There must be, but not this
because
kind
the
of
Congress,
reform.
because the Congress has always advocated the reforms, and Prime Minister Modi in Parliament quoted Manmohan Singh is saying that
Completely wrong, misquoted. The Prime Minister was misleading because that's not what our policy was. Let's not criticize the farmers and sort of make them out to be as if they're unreasonable. In fact, this government has no legs to stand on when it says that the farmer will get more than the MSP, because if the farmer will get more than the MSP, then MSP should be made the law. Then there's nothing to worry about. But they don't want that. Why? Because they are corporatizing everything. They are selling metros. They are selling airports. They are selling ports. They'll sell agricultural land also. So if you get the big boys come into agriculture, you see what happens.
so what is the way out? What is the solution? Because
Way out.
it can't be
They must-
repeal the laws, nothing short of that.
Why can't they repeal the laws?
It sets a dangerous precedence.
What is dangerous? What is dangerous?
Because why, if you put the laws on hold for 18 months, you have practically diluted several clauses. Then the beginning which should be made
What is the
let's
dilution?
begin talking.
Why doesn't the government? You say farmers should withdraw from their position. Why doesn't the government withdraw from its position?
I'm not saying the government has, in a sense, withdrawn and said we put it on hold for 18 months. I'm
That's
not saying
no good.
farmers should.
That's no
I'm
good.
not saying the farmers should withdraw. I'm saying that the door should be open for talks rather
They've
than
had
saying
9 rounds of talks already. They're just buying time. In this budget itself, they have reduced the allocations in agriculture.
the government says it doesn't go for optics.
And this is not optics. Everything about this government is only optics. Everything is about optics. You kiss the floor, you do all kinds of things. I don't want to say anything more. It's all optics.
What about the IMF projection of 11% growth?
Well, let's see what happens. That's 11% real growth, 14% nominal growth, right? So IMF has gone wrong earlier. It may go wrong, but I'll be happy for India if we have 11% growth.
So, Mr. Sibal, under Mr. Modi, is there any hope for this country?
Of course, there is hope for this country. That he must go. That's why there is hope.
But election after
2024 is fine. That's all right. Election after election. We also
He's
won. We
winning.
were in government. We were in government for 10 years also. It's all right. What goes up comes down. What flies will land on the ground. One day.
I will make one last attempt to bring you back to the Congress and try and see if you will answer this question. Some of the Congress leaders have said that those who are unhappy with the Congress should leave rather than give, and I quote, sermons from air-conditioned rooms.
I don't know who some of those leaders are, and welcome to their views. Everybody has a right to say what they want to say. I have no objection.
Let me elaborate. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary said this, and I think the reference was to you.
Fine. He's right. Obviously, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is a national figure in this country. He must be thinking. And that's his point of view. And he may be, from his point of view, he is right. I mean, why should I contradict him? As far as air-conditioned rooms are concerned, the fact of the matter is that I won 2 Lok Sabha elections. I must have done it through air-conditioned rooms, I guess. I must have gone in an air-conditioned car and lived and in an open air-conditioned environment and addressed public meetings in air-conditioned environments. He must be knowing better because, I don't know.
Has the thought ever crossed your mind, in hindsight or even now, that maybe you should leave the Congress or you could leave the Congress and float another party of yours?
What I wish to do, I will do. What I want to do will depend on many things. And what I want to do with the rest of my life is something that I have to think about. But
Poet,
one thing is clear. One thing is clear. I will never in my life join any other party.
you can float your own.
That you say,
I'm
welcome to
asking.
you for
I'm
that
asking.
thought. Welcome to you for that thought. That you think that I will float my own. Do you think that in an air-conditioned room I can float a party?
Politician, poet, lawyer. Which role do you think you fit best? And please don't say in all three.
No, no, no. I think that each role is different from the other. Poetry is the heart and soul of life, right? Law is a reflection of life. Politics is life itself.
Have you written something keeping the BJP in mind?
Oh,
Or
yes, why
something which
not?
could or something which could
I don't.
apply to the BJP?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Many things that I've written
Would
about
you
them. But
recite?
then I don't want to be persecuted by them filing cases of defamation against me.
As a parting shot, would you recite something for our viewers?
अभी मैंने लिखी हुई है, बताता हूँ तुम्हें. ये बे ये बीता हुआ साल भुला के इस देश की तहजीब को विरासत में मिली जो उसे गले लगा के अब आगे चले. नफरत की दीवारों को तोड़ के कल के शिकवे गिलों को छोड़ के देश की हिफाजत करें. अब आगे चले.
Very nice. It's also very applicable to the Congress. It could mean that the letter which was written, let's bury that and let's move on.
Congress doesn't believe in नफरत की दीवारें. Or Congress embraces tehzeeb and virasat, which some others don't.
Mr. Sibal, thank you very much. Thank you for your time. And of
Thank
course,
you.
I have a grudge that you didn't answer many questions which I had listed.
But you should never have asked them on public television.
I'll come over and have coffee with you and then we'll discuss this.
Pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. Thank you.